Hello, beautiful people. So today's topic is moving from fear into love. And another way we can view this is changing the lens in which we see the world. So shifting from the lens of suffering into the lens of beauty. A powerful gateway to do this is gratitude. Gratitude is the gateway from suffering to beauty, love, compassion, joy, bliss. But what I wanted to touch on was a bit about both of these states and how we have that within us to shift from this state into the state of love in any moment we choose. So what happens when we view the world through the lens of beauty? When we do view the world through the lens of beauty and love, you as a human being take this stance of openness, of receptivity, curiosity, non-judgment, non-reactivity, self-compassion, and you accept your experiences just as they are in this moment. And in this way, we recognize that unconditional love does not stop because there are hurdles or bumps along the way, but instead it includes them. It includes them as part of the human experience so that we can learn, grow, and evolve from them. We find the beauty within these hurdles. We find the beauty within the pain rather than the suffering, because as human beings, yes, we all experience pain, loss, grief, sadness, fear. Yes, we all experience them no matter how much we mature, but what do we choose to do with these states when they arise? We can either flip into the lens and state of being of suffering, or we can choose to view the world and view the experience through the lens of beauty and love. So on the flip side, what happens when we're viewing the world through the lens of suffering? Well, when we are viewing the world through the lens of suffering, there's less space, there's less room for us to grow and evolve as human beings. You probably react more, you defend yourself more, you blame more, you judge more. Thus, viewing the world through the lens of beauty, there's way more space to feel your emotions deeper, experience relationships fuller, cultivate a relationship with yourself that is far more loving and accepting. And in this way that we feel more and feel deeper, we end up caring less. We care less when maybe these uncomfortable states of emotion arise, because we recognize we have the tools to shift that into love and into beauty. And one thing I wanted to touch on was asking yourself before you do anything, when you remember for this or throughout today, is to ask yourself, what is the intention driving my actions? So are you living from love, or are you basing your actions and your decisions on avoiding suffering? Because the victim mentality involves self-sabotaging beliefs, limiting thoughts, behavioral, like maladaptive behaviors, and this is all centered around avoiding suffering rather than opening into the beauty that surrounds us. And an example for this, okay, so say if I am stuck in my head and maybe I'm experiencing limiting thoughts, or I'm letting my fear take over. It might be a good idea to leave the house and get into nature. But do I leave the house to avoid suffering? Do I call a friend to avoid suffering? Do I distract myself endlessly just to avoid the suffering? Or do I exercise just to avoid the suffering? All forms of distraction from how I'm truly feeling in this moment right now. Or do I choose to view the world and this experience through the lens of love, beauty, compassion, and leave the house so I can open my mind and get a larger perspective to view the world's beauty? I can call a friend and have an engaging conversation to connect deeper and to expand that love state. I can read and fill my mind as a way of gaining more knowledge, as a way of integrating more. And think about it, what space would you ever operate from? Because for me anyway, if I can approach my actions and my decisions through this lens of beauty and love, then what an amazing, empowering, fulfilling space to operate from. So next time you might find yourself in the state of suffering, recognize you have a choice. And if it isn't as simple as having the awareness and flipping into love and beauty and appreciation and compassion, then I would really recommend cultivating that gratitude practice as the gateway to arrive in that state of being. And the more that you do that, the more comfortable you'll get with the uncomfortable, the more quickly you're able to release those states, and the more self-love you will have for yourself and love and compassion for others. And I think it's important to touch on here, it's not about becoming fearless, but this is an opportunity to fear less. Because fear is a beautiful thing, it really is, and we can recognize that fear is really just contraction. Fear is what I heard is called, fear is excitement in drag, and really we experience the same bodily symptoms as we do when we're excited, but what might be going on, the dialogue in the mind doesn't always match that. So when we can release the contraction, release and soften the belly, release the clenching of the fists, open in the chest, breathe, then we're giving ourselves permission to come back to ourselves, be more connected with others, and operate from that space of loving kindness. So I hope you'll have a beautiful day and live from love. Bye.